Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. One third of the world's population, more than 2 billion people, suffer from parasitic diseases. Malaria kills 1 million people, mostly children, annually. An additional 500 million people are infected with intestinal protozoa and helminths. Although these infections are most common in underdeveloped countries, parasitic diseases are also affect millions of people in the United States. Over 1 million new cases of trichomoniasis are reported annually in the United States, and 60 million people are infected with trypanosoma cruzi. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention has targeted 5 parasitic diseases as priority for the public health in the action because of the number of the people infected and the severity of the illnesses, and because they are preventable and treatable. In this chapter, we discuss the eukaryotic microorganisms that affect humans, fungi, protozoa, parasitic helminths, and the arthropods that transmit diseases. Fungi. Mycology is the study of fungi. The number of serial fungal infections is increasing. Fungi are aerobic or facultatively anaerobic chemoheterotrophs. Most fungi are decomposers and few are parasites of plants and animals. Characteristics of fungi. A fungal thallus consists of filaments of cells called hyphae. A mass of hyphae is called a mycelium. Yeast are unicellular fungi. To reproduce, fission yeast divide symmetrically, whereas budding yeast divide asymmetrically. Birds that do not separate from the parent cell from pseudohyphae. Pathogenic dimorphic fungi are yeast-like at 37 centigrade and mold-like at 25 centigrade. Fungi are classified according to rRNA. Sporangiospores and conidiospores are produced asexually. Sexual spores are usually produced in response to special circumstances, often changes in the environment. Fungi can grow in acidic, low moisture, aerobic environments. They are able to metabolize complex carbohydrates. Medically important fungi. The zygomycota have coinocytic hyphae and produce sporangiospores and zygospores. Microsporidia like mitochondria and microtubules. They cause diarrhea in AIDS patients. The ascomycota have septate hyphae and produce ascospores and frequently conidiospores. Basidiomycota have septate hyphae and produce basidiospores. Some produce conidiospores. Teleomorphic fungi produce sexual and asexual spores. Anamorphic fungi produce asexual spores only. Fungal diseases. Systemic mycosis are fungal infections deep in the body that affect many tissue and organs. Subcutaneous mycosis are fungal infections beneath the skin. Cutaneous mycosis affect keratin containing tissues such as hair, nails and skin. Superficial mycosis are localized on hair shafts and superficial skin cells. Opportunistic mycosis are caused by fungi that are not usually pathogenic. Opportunistic mycosis can infect any tissues. However, they are usually systemic. Economic effects of fungi. Saccharomyces and trichoderma are used in the production of foods. Fungi are used for the biological control of pests. Mold spoilage of fruits, grains, and vegetables is more common than bacterial spoilage of these products. Many fungi cause diseases in plants. Algae. The study of algae is called algology or phycology. Algae are unicellular, filamentous, or multicellular. Most algae live in aquatic environments. Algae are eukaryotic. Most are photoautotrophs. The thallus of multicellular algae usually consists of a stipe, a holdfast, and blades. Algae reproduce asexually by cell division and fragmentation. Many algae reproduce sexually. Photoautotrophic algae produce oxygen. Algae are classified according to their structures and pigments. Selected phyla of algae. Brown algae may be harvested for algain. Red algae grow deeper in the ocean than other algae. Green algae have cellulose and chlorophyll A and B and store starch. Diatoms are unicellular and have pectin and silica cell walls. Some produce a neurotoxin. Dinoflagellates produce neurotoxin that cause paralytic shellfish poisoning and ciguatera. The omycotes are heterotrophic. They include decomposers and pathogens. Roles of algae in nature. Algae are the primary producer in aquatic food chains. Planktonic algae produce most of molecular oxygen in the Earth's atmosphere. Petroleum is the fossil remains of the planktonic algae. Unicellular algae are symbionts in such animals as Tridacna. Protozoa. Protozoa are unicellular, eukaryotic, chemoheterotrophs. Protozoa are found in soil and water and as normal microbiota in animals. Characteristics of protozoa. The vegetative form is called a trophozoite. Asexual reproduction is by fission, budding, and schizogeny. Sexual reproduction is by conjugation. During ciliate conjugation, two haploid nuclei fuse to produce a zygote. Some protozoa can produce a cyst that provides protection during the adverse environmental conditions. Protozoa have complex cells with a pellicle, cytostome, and an anal pore. Medically important protozoa. Trichomonas and giardia lack mitochondria and have flagella. Euglenosa move by means of flagella and lack sexual reproduction. They include trypanosoma. Amoebae include entamoeba and acanthamoeba. Apicomplexa have apical organelles for penetrating host tissue. They include Plasmodium and Cryptosporidium. Ciliates move by means of cilia. Blantidium coli is only human parasitic ciliate. Slime molds. Cellular slime molds resemble amoebae and ingest bacteria by phagocytosis. Plasmodium slime molds consist of multinucleated mass of protoplasm that engulfs organic debris and bacteria as it moves. Helminths. Study of helminths is called helminthology. Parasitic flatworms belong to the phylum PLATYHELMINTHS. Parasitic roundworms belong to the phylum NEMATODES. Characteristics of helminths. Helminths are multicellular animals. A few are parasites of humans. The anatomy and the life cycle of parasitic helminths are modified for parasitism. The adult stage of the parasitic helminths is found in the definitive host. Each larval stage of a parasitic helminth requires an intermediate host. Helminths can be monoecious or dioecious. Platyhelminths. Flatworms are dorsoventrally flattened animals. Parasitic flatworms may lack a digestive system. Adult nematodes or flukes have an oral and ventral sucker with which they attach to host tissue. Eggs of nematodes hatch into free-swimming marasidia that enter first intermediate host. Two generations of reti develop. The reti become cercari that bore out of the first intermediate host and penetrate the second intermediate host. Cercari ancest as metacercari. The metacercari develop into adults in the definitive host. A cestode or tapeworm consists of a scolex and proglottids. Humans serve as a definitive host for the beef tapeworm, and cattle are the intermediate host. Humans serve as definitive host and can be an intermediate host for the pork tapeworm. Humans serve as intermediate host for Echinococcus granulosus. The definitive host are dogs, wolves, and foxes. Nematodes. Study of nematodes is called nematology. Roundworms have a complete digestive system. The nematodes that infect humans with their eggs includes Ascaris, Trichuris, and Introbius. The nematodes that infect humans with their larvae include hookworms and Trichinella. Arthropods as vectors. Giant-legged animals, including ticks and insects, belong to the phylum Arthropoda. Arthropoda that carry diseases are called vectors. Vector-borne diseases are most effectively eliminated by controlling the vectors. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share my channel to get new and updated informations.